Hey YouTube, how's it going? I recently purchased a 3D printer and I wanted to show off some of the things I've made. One of the more interesting things I feel like I've made is this alien in a jar. And I'm going to show you how I actually made it. And there's a funny story behind this alien. My wife posted a picture of it on Facebook and her page blew up with comments from friends thinking that this thing was actually real. So I just wanted to do a video to show you how I actually made this thing because I thought some of the comments they made were funny. So I went on Thingiverse and I printed out an alien, okay? And this is what it looks like out of the jar. This was the second one that I printed. And I'm in the process of painting him with acrylic paints. Okay, just to show you what it looks like out of the jar. I sanded it a lot to make it smooth, but we'll talk about that guy later on. So anyway, I'll tell you a little bit about the inspiration for making an alien in the jar. Is some of you probably don't know, I'm absolutely fascinated with space travel, and things like that. And I actually watched a documentary on Netflix about Wernher von Braun. And it's common knowledge Wernher von Braun was a Nazi. Wernher von Braun also designed the Saturn V rocket, which brought the Americans to the moon. He also designed the V-2 rocket, which was a weapon, of course, in World War II. And that led me down kind of a dark path where I watched a few other documentaries on Netflix about some of the stranger technologies and weaponry the Nazis were trying to develop. So I decided to just make an alien in the jar and actually make it look like a Nazi relic from World War II. So after printing the alien, his two arms broke off, and then my son dropped him on the floor and broke the leg off, which I was okay with. It actually looked kind of cool with the pieces floating in there. You could see one of his little hands down at the bottom of the jar, and then his leg and his other arm is floating. And the infill pattern that I used actually kind of sort of makes it look like he's got a strange type of skeleton. But anyway, back to how I actually made him. I took the jar from the fridge and I cleaned it out. And I put the alien in there, and I was looking for something to fill the jar with that wouldn't evaporate or go bad. So I filled it with yellow colored dish soap. That's all that is in the jar, is yellow colored dish soap. And then I needed to disguise the lid, plus make it look like it was a Nazi artifact looted from World War II. So I Googled Nazi images, Nazi documents, Nazi paperwork, and I came up with this. It's just a random Nazi symbol. I have no idea what it says, but I thought it looked kind of cool. So I printed it out. And this is what it looks like printed out clearly. I think it's a postage stamp. I'm not sure. I don't really care. So anyway, after I printed it out, I cut it out with a pair of scissors, and to make it look old, I put it in a Ziploc baggie with coffee grounds and rubbed the coffee grounds on it until it turned brown. And then I dried it with a hair dryer. And I got the idea for using the coffee grounds, actually, believe it or not, from Vincent van Gogh. I'm also an art fanatic, art and history. Van Gogh was actually so poor at one point in time that he used coffee grounds and orange peels to paint with. And that was the inspiration for using the coffee grounds. So then I just sprayed it with spray glue from an aerosol can and put it on the top to cover the top. And then on the side here, in German, I got on Google Translate, it says, "Attention, do not remove specimen from jar." Basically, I did the same thing with the coffee grounds. I cut it out and I dried it with a hair dryer and I glued it on there to cover up the lid, the writing on the lid. Now, it didn't go all the way around, so it's funny, it says refrigerate after opening right there. So I need to make another sticker or something like that. That's about the only thing I'm not happy with this thing. I should have gone to a secondhand store and maybe bought like an old antique jar to put it in. But like I said, I wanted to make it look like it was a relic, a Nazi relic from World War II. Just something interesting to talk about when people come over. You know, like I said, my wife did post a picture on Facebook with this thing on there, and her page just blew up with comments like, "What is it? Where'd it come from? Where'd you find it?" And a couple people even suggested I call the police. So I figured before this ends up somewhere where it shouldn't be and the cops are at my door, or the FBI or Men in Black or whoever, I decided to do a video on how I actually made it. And that's pretty much it. You can see him in there. It's pretty creepy with his arms floating around and his leg down there. And when I originally printed this alien, I printed him in this position, like this, because I thought that would be the best way to print him. And it didn't print out very well. It kind of messed up his back, but it actually, for what I ended up using this for, it actually enhances it, because it looks like kind of like a strange exoskeleton or alien skeleton, like those are his bones or something like that in there. And then, you know, the back of his head kind of got mashed up too when it was printing, because it didn't the supports it printed didn't really do too well. Now this alien was printed sitting up like this, so he turned out a lot better, and I spent a little bit more time sanding him and painting him. I don't really know what I'm going to do with this guy yet. Probably something interesting, but I just thought I would dispel the rumor of the mysterious creature in a jar. You know, and that's pretty much it. I appreciate you guys watching. I appreciate you guys subscribing. I hope you enjoyed my alien in a jar. And I'm going to be doing some more videos of other interesting things that I've printed. Thanks a lot, guys. You have a good day.